He returned from the mountains, then exposed the family that tried to bury him. They called him a nobody, a mountain trash. He walked back into the city with empty hands and a quiet smile. By dawn, the men who sold his name had lost everything. This is how the betrayed make the world pay. This commentary is created for the purpose of providing analysis, critique, and educational insights. Please support the original work by watching the full film. In a clan where lineage is law, one man disappears into the cold and returns with a secret no one expected. Tonight we follow Muchen, the mountain apprentice who the city called a fool, as he peels back the masks of greed and vengeance until blood tells the truth. Flashback. A young man shoved out the family gate. Cold wind, a broken marriage contract, a hurried departure. Years earlier, a mess of pride and fear forced Muchen out of the Lin household. The family treated him like a wound to hide, a son who did not fit the ledger of marriages, alliances, and wealth. A marriage contract, a political bargain, and a silence that stung more than any slap sent him climbing the mountains instead of inheriting the city stage. Rumors said he was gone. The Lin family moved on, but absence can be a patient thing. It waits, it learns, and it grows teeth. Years earlier, a mess of pride and fear forced Muchen out of the Lin household. The family treated him like a wound to hide, a son who did not fit the ledger of marriages, alliances, and wealth. A marriage contract, a political bargain, and a silence that stung more than any slap sent him climbing the mountains instead of inheriting the city stage. Monastery stairs, training sequences, nights of meditative fire. On the mountain, under the watch of a blade-scarred master, Muchen stopped being a boy and became a person who understood leverage. Not only how to strike, but when to watch. He learned not to match fury with fury, but to let other men do that for him while he collected proof, allies, and a kind of calm that never breaks. When he finally descended, he wore no banner. He carried only certainty. City streets, gambling room chaos, a frantic ransom demand, a botched plot exposed. The first tests were small. A tavern brawl interrupted, a gambling den disrupted, a kid pushed into a corner and pulled out of trouble by the same quiet hand. The Lin household watched from their marble windows, unaware that the mountain's lessons had a pattern. Muchen arrived not with a sword but with an accusation, a name here, a ledger there, and the rot inside the family began to smell. 2 million exchanged hands, whispers bought silence, and yet every bribe left a footprint. He only needed footprints. He traced the ransom, the false doctors, the poisonous deals back to a small knot of men who thought their debts could be covered by lies. Their arrogance was simple: money can bury memory. But Muchen had seen how deals were made in the city, in gambling rooms, at pawn shops, in the hands of men who keep lists. One by one, the lies unraveled. A supposed ally confessed. A quiet servant produced a note. The clan's proud face cracked under the pressure of truth. Banquet hall. Lin elders on their knees. A gambit that leaves reputations shattered. The most dangerous moment was not a duel or a blaze. It was the moment of choice. Muchen could have cut throats, taken titles, burned the ledger, and walked away. Instead, he stood in the middle of the hall and read names. He watched fathers look at sons as if seeing strangers, heard a groom's promise fall like dry paper. Some begged, some blamed. The Lin patriarch realized the roof over his line was rotten. Muchen offered the worst mercy possible. He exposed the truth and left the ruin to the proud to live with. That was the sentence they feared more than the sword, living with their shame. Smoke leaving the roofline. A lone figure walking away at dawn. In the end, he did not crown himself. He did not accept blood for blood. He took what mattered, the narrative. The city would remember who the traitors were and who saved honor. The men who bought silence now carried its stain. Muchen walked away with his quiet smile intact, knowing that some punishments must be endured every day. He had returned from the mountain to do one thing: change the story. And that is more lethal than any blade. Camera rises over the city as morning pulls the shadows back. This film keeps choosing small human betrayals instead of epic, fantastical battles. That choice makes the revenge feel real, because the greatest vengeance is not spectacle. It is the slow collapse of a lie, the way people must live beside the consequences of their own choices. Muchen left the family broken, but not with blood on his hands. He left them with truth. That is the sort of end that keeps echoing through a story long after the credits roll.